Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Vande Guru Isha Bhaktan Ishan Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Tatat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Guruve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Granthera Rambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoy Vighana Vinashana Anayase Haya Nija Vancheta Purana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantraj Sri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, and we are reading about the bhaktas. So we read about Vande Gurun, we read about the gurus or spiritual masters, the Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, the Paramatma Guru inside, and now we are reading about the bhaktas or the devotees of the Lord. So we read till text number 59 yesterday, and we were discussing that what happens in the association of devotees. All the bad knots, such saints can cut the knots connecting one with the activities unfavorable. So anything which is unfavorable to our bhakti, and we know what is unfavorable, grossly or subtly, how can we cut off? Not by our own strength, by the good association of devotees. And therefore, one must give up bad association and wholeheartedly take the good association of devotees. So, yesterday we read till text 59. So, we'll move on with the next verse, which is text number 66. Satam prasangan mama virya samvedo grinan bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajoshana dashava apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in the society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from the devotees the way of transcendental experience, quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Purport. This verse appears in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.25, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 25, where Kapila Dev replies to the questions of his mother Devahuti about the process of devotional service. As one advances in devotional activities, the process becomes progressively clearer and more encouraging. Unless one gets this spiritual encouragement by following the instructions of the spiritual master, it is not possible to make advancement. Therefore, one's development of a taste for executing these instructions is the test of one's devotional service. Initially, one must develop confidence by hearing the science of devotion from a qualified spiritual master. Then, as he associates with devotees and tries to adopt the means instructed by the spiritual master in his own life, His misgivings and other obstacles are vanquished by his execution of devotional service. Strong attachment for the transcendental service of the Lord develops as he continues listening to the messages of Godhead, and if he steadfastly proceeds in this way, he is certainly elevated to spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. It's one of my favorite verses, and which is quoted by Srila Prabhupada many, many times. It's an important verse, therefore Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is also quoting it again from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And so, Satam Prasange, Sat, when we take good association, Prasanga, intense association. Sangha means association. Prasanga, Prakrishta Rupena, intense association. Mama Virya, what do? They talk about new movie, talk about new car, talk about new this and that. No. Mama Virya Samvido. Machchata Madgata Prana. Bodhayanta Parasparam Katyanta Shamam Nityam Tushanti cha Ramanti cha. My devotees come together and then they talk about me. Mama Virya. Mama Virya, my glories, my pastimes, Krishna is telling. Here Kapil Muni is telling, who is also not different from the Supreme Lord. Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayana Katha. Then they, what do? They take this nectar, this Rasayana. This is very, very sweet nectar, Krishna Katha. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Rasam Alayam. How do they take it in? Not through the mouth. This nectar is taken through the ears. Tad Joshanad Ashwa Apavarga Vartamani. They lead to Apavarga. We have discussed Pafa Bhavama is material world. Apavarga is spiritual world. And three things will happen: Shraddha, Rati, and Bhakti. One's faith will increase, one's attachment to Krishna will increase, and one's bhakti or devotion will increase. Anukramishati, krame krame, krama, one after the other. So, in short, one who hears this Krishna Katha steadily, Nityam, Bhagavata Sevaya, that person in the association of devotees from the right sources, Guru Sadhu Shastra, Kapil Muni is guaranteeing, oh Mother Devotee, that person will certainly go back home, back to Godhead. All the impurities will diminish, and one's faith will increase, one's attachment will increase towards Krishna, and ultimately one will keep progressing to the spontaneous love of Godhead. How? By good association and by good hearing. So, very, very important verse. If someone wants, they can memorize this one. Satam prasangan mama viri samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajoshanada ashwa apavarga vartamani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishyati. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, let's move on to the 61. Anyone who didn't get chance yesterday first? Let's see if you didn't get chance to read yesterday. Want to read?
Prabhu, I can read Dandavats.
Yes, please.
Dandavat Pranam devotees. Ishvara Sarupa Bhakta Tandra Adhisthana Bhaktera Ridhaye Krishnera Satata Vishrama. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A pure devotee constantly engaged in the loving service of the Lord is identical with the Lord, who is always seated in his heart. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one without a second, and therefore he is all-powerful. He has inconceivable energies, of which three are principal. The devotee is considered to be one of these energies, never the energetic. The energetic is always the Supreme Lord. The energies are related to him for the purpose of eternal service. A living entity in the conditioned stage can uncover his aptitude for serving the absolute truth by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master. Then the Lord reveals himself within his heart. And he can know that Krishna is seated in the heart of every pure devotee. Krishna is actually situated in the heart of every living entity. But only a devotee can realize this fact. Such a sweet purport. So we know that Krishna is seated in every living entity's heart, but Prabhupada says that only a devotee can realize this fact. Yesterday we were reading that Hiranyakashipu, Krishna hid in his heart. So Hiranyakashipu could not find him because he of course didn't think of looking in his heart. He looked everywhere else. And here Prabhupada is saying pure devotee is constantly engaged in the loving service of the Lord. So that is, we are so lucky, so fortunate to be able to constantly be engaged in the loving service. And we really need to thank Srila Prabhupada for providing us, our restless mind, so many opportunities, so many venues to engage ourselves. Otherwise, this mind can be devil's workshop, especially we see this in the pandemic. And then it's continues, this purport continues that Krishna has inconceivable energy, but and the devotee is considered to be one of these energies. So we are the Tataksha Shakti. We are no, not his Ladini potency, nor we are his material energy, but we are on the boundary. And if I'm right, to please correct otherwise. And then it says that but Krishna, we are never the source, we are the recipient of Krishna's energy, and we can only uncover ourselves. We are covered by Maya right now, we are covered by illusion. We can only come out of it by spiritual master's mercy, and we have been discussing potency of the mercy that comes through spiritual master. So very nice purport. Thank you, Prabhu. That back to you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. Again, glorification about the devotee is going on in these verses. That Krishna is seated in the heart of the devotees. Very, very similar is Bhaktera Hridaya Krishna Satata Vishrama. In one of the other bhajans, there's a line that Tomara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishrama. Very, very similar. That Krishna resides in the heart of devotees. Devotees have the power to give Krishna to others. Tomara Shakati Ache. That if they, like Narada Muni says to Krishna, you please give him bhakti, Krishna cannot say no. And we have so many examples. Because they carry Krishna in their heart everywhere. Like Srila Prabhupada, he carried Krishna everywhere throughout the world and gave Krishna and Krishna consciousness, the process of bhakti, to thousands and thousands and tens and thousands of people everywhere. This is the purity and the devotion that they carry Krishna in their heart, and they keep giving Krishna to everyone. Why? Because everyone is searching for Krishna. Some know it, some don't know it. Everyone is searching for happiness. And how can there be happiness without Krishna? If Krishna is there, there will be all auspiciousness, all happiness. Without Krishna, there cannot be happiness in one's life. So, any other comments anyone has? Okay, text 62.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Text 62. Sadhu mayam sadhunam hridayam tuham mad anyatena janati naham tebhyo manak api. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Saints are my heart, and only I am their hearts. They do not know anyone but me, and therefore I do not recognize anyone besides them as mine. Purport. This verse appears in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 9.468 in connection with a misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarish. As a result of this misunderstanding, Durvasa Muni tried to kill the king. And when the Sudarshan Chakra, the celebrated weapon of Godhead, appeared on the scene for the devoted king's protection. When the Sudarshan Chakra attacked Durvasa Muni, he fled in fear of the weapon and sought shelter for all the great demigods in heaven. No one of them was able to protect him, and therefore Durvasa Muni prayed to Lord Vishnu for forgiveness. Lord Vishnu advised him, however, that if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaj Ambarish, not from him. In this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. The Lord, being full and free from problems, can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. His concern is how to elevate and protect all those who have taken shelter at his feet. The same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. So in this verse, the text, it is a quotation from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, wherein the Lord says that the saints are in my heart, and also they are in my heart and I am in their hearts. And also Srila Prabhupada is nicely explaining about how Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj, they had a misunderstanding, and the story is explained in brief in this. And also finally he concludes with how as a disciple has responsibilities to the spiritual master. The spiritual master also has the same responsibility and concern for the disciples who have taken shelter of him. And similarly, even the all merciful Lord, he also is very mindful of his devotees, and he always gives shelter to his devotees who have surrendered completely unto him. Thank you, Prabhuji. Good night. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Again, very, very important words. This whole chapter is actually very, very important. There's a lot of Siddhanta mentioned in this. A lot of verses from Bhagavatam are mentioned in this chapter. Why? Because it is so important. It is so critical. I live in the heart of my devotees, and my devotees live in my heart. Isn't that amazing? Let's meditate upon this statement for 1 minute. How much the Lord loves his devotees. That he is saying, the Lord is saying, the devotees live in my heart. I'm always concerned about my devotees. I'm always concerned about my children. Like a genuine father or mother, aren't they always concerned about their children? Even if they are in office or wherever they may be. But at the back of their mind, their children's welfare is always in their mind, right? For those of your parents, most of you, isn't that something always on your mind? Your children's welfare, I'm sure, which is genuine. Similarly, the spiritual master. The spiritual master is always thinking for the welfare of his children. That means the disciples who have taken his shelter, who are trying to follow his instructions. So this is very, very deep statement actually. The Lord or the spiritual master is always thinking of the welfare of their. They don't think of anything but me. Yetha mam prapadyanti tams tadev bhajamyaham. If I am thinking of million things, then the Lord will reciprocate accordingly. If I am thinking of Yavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana, single pointed attention to the Lord, to the devotees, then the Lord will also reciprocate thinking about me single pointedly. correct? And the famous example, Mata Draupadi, right? When she was trying to ask for help, she first thought, okay, I'll ask help from my husband's guru, grandfather, etc. My own strength. It was multi-branched, thinking of many things. Gajendra, same story. My family will help, my own strength will help. 1,000 years went like that only. Was the Lord not thinking of his welfare at that point? Certainly he was. But if the devotee is not thinking of the Lord, then the Lord cannot come with his full kind of force. But if the devotee is, if I do not recognize anything besides them as mine, they do not know anyone but me. Isn't that amazing? They do not know anyone but me. That means those great souls, they are 24/7 Krishna conscious. They only know one thing, Krishna, bhakti. That's the real thing. Rest everything is temporary. So, very deep verse. The saints are in my heart, the devotees are in my heart, and I am in theirs. They don't know anything but me, so I don't know anything but them. Very deep statement. Whenever we feel low, whenever we feel sad, lonely, depressed, any lower modes are coming, we can meditate upon this. No matter the whole world may kick me, say wrong things, leave me, broken heart, whatever, but my Lord is always thinking about me. If I think about him, he's always thinking about me. So, in short, we are never alone. We are never lonely. Any other comments? Any thoughts? Okay, let's read the next verse, text number 63. Anyone else wants to read? Vijaya Mataji, want to read? Okay, Moksha Mataji.
There's no Sanskrit I can read.
Yeah. Sorry, busy? I didn't hear you, sorry.
No, Sanskrit, that's not Sanskrit, right? So
Oh, you can't read English one?
Sanskrit, English, I could not read.
Okay, so we'll ask you to read the Bhagavatam then. This is Bangla. Bangla na jani. Okay, Moksha Mataji will read.
Hare
This
Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam all devotees. Text 63. Bhavat Vida Bhagavatas Tirtha Buddha Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthyani Spanta Tena Gada Bhrata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Saints of your uh, caliber and themselves are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. Purport. In this verse was spoken by Maharaja Yudhishthir to Vidura in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 10. Maharaj Yudhishthir was receiving his saintly uncle Vidura, who had been visiting sacred places of pilgrimage. Maharaja Yudhishthir told Vidura that pure devotees like him are personified holy places because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always with them in their hearts. By their association, sinful persons are freed from sinful reactions, and therefore, whenever Wherever a pure devotee goes in the sacred place of pilgrimage, the importance of the holy places is due to the presence of such pure devotees there. Uh, so in this, there are two things that are coming in my mind. That when Sri Krishna said to Mother Ganga that you will be a holy river in which all the people will come and will wash away all their sins. So Mother Ganga asked Sri Krishna, along with other sacred rivers, that oh Lord, that everybody will be washing their sins in us. So when we'll become contaminated with all the sins, where will we come for our purification? So Sri Krishna replied that when the devotees of the Lord reciting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will dip in your sacred waters, you will become purified. So in that instance, we see that the devotees even have the capability of purifying the pilgrimage places. Also, in the second part, Srila Prabhupada is telling us, Lava Matra Sadhu Sang Sarva Siddhi Hoye. That is, that even if we don't go to pilgrimage, if we don't get a chance, so we must try our level best to associate with the pure devotees, because it is considered no less than visiting a place of pilgrimage. So, here, the two things are clarified to us, that the pure devotee is equal to that of pilgrimage, and if one is not able to visit there, he must have association of the pure devotees. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj himself, being a pure devotee, had an association of his uncle Vidur. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely you spoke about this important point. The devotees are walking tirthas. Tirtha kurvanti tirthani. Wherever they go, it becomes a holy place. Like Srila Prabhupada, he went to so many places in the world and made all the places tirtha by making new Vrindavan, new Raman Rethi, new Mayapur, all these places, all the places in the Western world which were afflicted with the peak of materialism, like New York, Manhattan, London, San Francisco, all these big cities, where there was hardly any Krishna consciousness, practically zero. Now, because of the presence of devotees, now these places have also become kind of purified by, there is chanting of holy name going on, there is distribution of prasadam going on, there are so many beautiful temples all across the globe. How? Just by presence of one pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. They are walking tirthas. They're carrying Krishna in their heart and giving everywhere in everyone without discrimination. So, swan antena, swa antah sthena gadabhrita. They're carrying the Supreme Lord in their heart. So, some people go to holy places, but if you don't hear from the holy devotees, going to holy places has practically zero meaning. Even if we go to holy places like Vrindavan, Mayapur, we must hear from holy or sadhus or Vaishnavas. Then only we'll get to know what is that tirtha. Otherwise, it is just some place, some dirt, some building, some temple, some pond. Until we hear the glories, what will we get to know? And whom do we hear from? Not anyone and everyone. From devotees, because they only can give. They have realized the Supreme Lord. They can give him to others. I know we're a little kind of already over time, but let's read 64 also, so that this topic will kind of, we're talking about the devotees. From 65 there is the next topic, so let's read 64 as well. Anyone else wants to read? Yes, Babu Prabhu. I'm going to read text 64. Lakshay. Yes, please. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can't hear you. There seems to be some. No, I got disconnected. Renuka Mataji, you want to read? Sudhir Prabhu, whoever is present.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Text number 64. Sai bhakta gunahaya dvi vidya karaka parisad gana eka sadhana guna ara. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Such pure devotees are of two types: personal associates and neophyte devotees, sadhakas. Purport: perfect saviators of the Lord are considered his personal associates, whereas devotees endeavoring to attain perfection are called neophytes. Among the associates, some are attached by the opulences of the personality of Godhead, and others are attached by nuptial love of Godhead. The former devotees are placed in the realm of Vaikuntha to render rational devotional service, whereas the later devotees are placed in Vrindavana for the direct service of Lord Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful translation and purport. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining how, such a exalted devotees like Srila Prabhupada, who you rightly said as, walking, devotees, walking, they have come here to give us devotionals, so that we can, neophyte devotees like me, sadhakas, can gain little attachment to the love of Lord Krishna. So, and here Prabhupada is clearly explaining how they are from Vaikuntha, and the devotees, neophyte, are placed in Vrindavana so that we can render direct service to Lord Krishna. That's my understanding. Please add. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. It's interesting, the word used here are such pure devotees are of two types. In short, both of them are referred to as pure devotees, isn't it? That's what we are reading here. Pure devotees are of two types. One are perfected souls, the personal associates. They are like Nitya Siddhas. They have already perfected. They are not, they're like the internal entourage of the Lord. Lord's friends, and gopis, and depending upon whatever rasa they are serving, they are perfected, their self-realized souls perfected, and they are in their eternal constitutional swarupa. Others are sadhakas, which pretty much applies to majority of the practicing devotees, practicing sadhaka, who are doing the sadhana bhakti to achieve the sadhya, the object of devotion, that is Krishna. One time someone asked Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there in movement? And then Prabhupada checked with one of his disciples and said, well, how many devotees are in ISKCON? And he said some number, maybe like 4,000. And Prabhupada says 4,000. The point is that anyone, and this verse pretty much says it here very clearly, pure devotees are of two types, one who are perfected and one who are neophytes. In short, if a person may have dirt, okay, if a person may have dirt, but he is in the shower, what will we say? Oh, look at that dirty person. Or will we say that person is going the cleansing process? Will we appreciate the cleansing process, or will we look at the dirt? We'll appreciate the cleansing process. It's just a matter of time. If the person continues to be in the shower, all the dirt will be gone. Similarly, it's right now I certainly have a lot of shortcomings, a lot of dirt in my heart, in my mind. But if I continue to read Bhagavatam, continue to sincerely serve devotees, serve my spiritual master, serve Srila Prabhupada, then that dirt will go because it's Krishna's promise. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. It will certainly go. So Prabhupada therefore said everyone is a pure devotee in our movement. It's just a matter of some time. Some may take few years, some may take few decades, some may take few births. It's a question of when, not it's a question of if. So these are two types of pure devotees, Siddhas and the Sadhakas, also known as Parishtas, Parishat, Yadu or Parishat, associate, or Parshad. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, so